Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to speak about the match between Barcelona and Athletic Club, where Barcelona won 3-0. Now here's the thing, I actually want to speak about Joan Garcia first, because this is one of the goalkeepers that Barcelona want to go for in this upcoming summer before I get into the match review. It's going to be very blunt, very, I would just say basic, because there's not really a lot to talk about in regards to this match specifically. Barcelona have already won La Liga, but I do think that there's still some performances that we have to call out, and I do want to give out my top 4 performing players for this match against Athletic Club. So it's going to be a very fun one, and I do want to once again further explain what has been going on between Joan Garcia, the goalkeeper from Espanyol, and FC Barcelona. So if that thing is for you and you guys are FC Barcelona fans, this is going to be the channel for you. This is where we do talk about everything regarding FC Barcelona. So please support this channel by subscribing and also liking this video. I would really appreciate it. So let's talk about Joan Garcia first. So Joan Garcia is a goalkeeper from Espanyol, and Barcelona are interested. This came out like 45 hours before the match did start against Athletic Club, and Barcelona have said, that they're interested. They have decided to go for Joan Garcia, and they will make a move very soon. So within these next 8 to 10 to maybe even 15 days max, we will hear what is going to be the full operation between Barcelona and Joan Garcia, because there are still a lot of things that they have to talk about. Hansi Flick also gave out his own perspective, and obviously he did not really give out much because he does not like to talk about players that are not his currently, and it will be considered as disrespectful to talk about another player knowing that you have your own players at your own club, and it doesn't make any sense. And so he stated, you're gonna have to ask the goalkeeping coach, who is Della, and right now we just have 3 fantastic goalkeepers and nothing more. So that is what Hansi Flick stated. He couldn't say anything more than that. I'm pretty sure that if he was very comfortable with talking about other players, he probably would have said, yeah, this is a goalkeeper that we want. Yeah, we also want Luis Diaz. Yes, we also want Jonathan Tah, etc., etc. But Hansi Flick is not that type of coach. So what is Barcelona looking for overall? Like, why is Joan Garcia so keen on joining the club? And that's because Barcelona are looking for a specific profile. They want a goalkeeper who is young, tall, with proven experience, high potential, and ready to perform immediately, like now. And Joan Garcia does fit that criteria, which is the reason why Barcelona want to go for it. Now, the tricky thing is that we have Ter Stegen, and we have Peña, and we have Szczesny. And the reason why this is tricky, right, is because I understand that we can just say, like, yeah, just bring in Joan Garcia, and we'll keep Tech, and that's it, right? Ter Stegen out, Peña out. But it's tricky because there's been no conversations between Barcelona and Ter Stegen, and seeing if Ter Stegen might want to move to a different club, etc., etc. And so we don't know anything about that. Peña for sure is going to be leaving, but we don't know where. And then Szczesny has to make a decision whether he wants to continue at Barcelona for another season or just leave and just to go back into retirement. So that's the tricky part, is we need to find the answers from these 3 goalkeepers before we make a move for Joan Garcia. And the reason why Barcelona are, I would just say, having this idea of wanting to loan out Joan Garcia after buying him immediately, right, is because they say, okay, look, we don't want to lose on Joan Garcia. Joan Garcia is a goalkeeper that we really do admire, somebody that we want in our Barcelona team. But if Szczesny does decide to stay for another season, that means that Ter Stegen and Szczesny will be our goalkeeping options, and it would make no sense for us to buy Joan Garcia and just leave him on the bench and barely play any minutes or get any game time. And that is why you have been hearing in the media that Barcelona want to buy the player and immediately loan him out to Valencia. It's a very similar operation to what Barcelona do with most of their goalkeepers. They usually loan him out to Galatasaray or like some other Spanish clubs out there just to get more minutes, more experience. Once again, they want to sign him now because they don't want to lose him and just say, like, okay, we're gonna work with Tech and Ter Stegen for the next season and buy Joan Garcia in the following summer of 2026. Who knows if he's even going to be available? That is the reason why Barcelona want to get him now and to loan him out immediately. And that's also going to be another thing that has to be discussed, is Joan Garcia okay with that? Is Joan Garcia like saying, okay, that's fine, like I'm willing to sign with Barcelona and go on loan to Valencia? Or does he want something more permanent? Does he want to go to a team like Man City or Arsenal or Inter Milan or wherever, Atletico Madrid, wherever, and have a permanent spot from the start? Who knows? So we have heard there is like some things in the media stating that Joan Garcia is open to a loan, but he has not approved a move to FC Barcelona yet, because once again, we just don't know what's going to happen with Stegen, Peña, and Szczesny. We have to know the answers first. Once we know the answers, which we will in a few days, few weeks, then we'll have the definitive details of Joan Garcia moving to FC Barcelona. And we have also heard that Valencia and Real Betis are going to be the main two clubs that would be interested in getting him on loan. So if he were to sign with FC Barcelona, Valencia and Real Betis will be ready. They'll be there. So his release clause right now is 25 million euros. It will increase in the next 15 days of the window to 30 million euros if the Spanish national team go into the final, which is crazy. Like if Spain go to the final, which is I believe the Nations League, in this upcoming few weeks, I think that it's in about 3 or 4 weeks from today, and he's there, it's going to increase for another 5 million euros more. And that is only if he gets called up to the Spanish national team. So that is basically the road. If, right, he gets called up to the Spanish national team, he goes to the Nations League, they go to the final, they win it, increase to 30 million euros. So I think that if they want to make a deal, it's going to have to be now. That is the reason why, going back to what I said, they want to make a deal with Joan Garcia immediately. And the good thing is that there's great agent connections. For example, Andy Barra, who is the agent of Dani Olmo, also represents Joan Garcia. And the relationship between Joan Laporta and Andy Barra is really good. So if we can lock down a deal early, like if you were to ask me what player could we sign first, I would put my money on Joan Garcia. Moving on from that, right? Yes, so we did play against Athletic Club. We won 3-0. We gained a total of 88 points. Very impressive. But before we go into that, I also want to speak about Nico Williams, because Nico Williams did play against us. And bro, I'm telling you guys, I don't know why, but I feel like the life of Nico Williams has been sucked out from him. Like the football life has been sucked out from him, because when I saw him play, he was just doing the exact same thing over and over again, which is like to dribble the ball, try to get through Eric Garcia, sometimes unsuccessful, sometimes successful, but doing the exact same final pass over and over again, and it never worked. He looked very one-dimensional. It looked like he lacked ideas, any creative ideas. As a left winger or as a right winger, you always want to be unpredictable. Like, are you going to go center? Are you going to make a final third pass? Are you going to chip it over the defensive line for it to meet your striker or whatever? But Nico Williams was repeating the exact same thing over and over again. And to Barcelona's defense, it was predictable, and they knew exactly where Nico Williams was going to go. And it's not good. And I also think that, this is not Nico Williams' game. I don't know what Valverde has been teaching Nico Williams in the past 7 to 8 months, but his overall game has been just flat, boring, one-dimensional, very just bland, gray. It's not good. And this is not the Nico Williams that we know. Nico Williams, under the correct system and management, and under the correct coach, this guy would explode and score more goals, provide more assists, be much more of a creator. But we don't see that from Nico Williams today. So Tony Juan Mardias also talked about Nico Williams, and he stated, Nico's camp believed there was a pre-agreement with Barcelona for the summer of 2025, but Barcelona clarified later and said that there is no agreement that exists. They may not be interested. And the reason why is because, going back to what we talked about in the past 48 to 72 hours, Barcelona have a priority, and that is to, yes, sign a player in the left wing position, but the player that they want to go for, it is Luis Diaz. It is no longer Nico Williams. Yes, at one point about 9 to 10 months ago, the priority to reinforce the left wing position was to bring in Nico Williams, but it's not like that anymore. And I don't know if there's like internal reason. Maybe they feel a certain way about Nico Williams rejecting them. Who knows? But the fact that he has fallen down in that category, in terms of priority to reinforce the left wing position, it's not a good looking thing. Deco is clearly a fan. He talked about Nico Williams before. He said, like, look, we gave out a bid to Nico Williams, but he rejected us, and we admired the player, but he did not want to play with us, and the train only passes one time, and nothing more. And I also think that another factor that can play into this on why Nico Williams went down the ladder is because Luis Diaz had a phenomenal season with Liverpool. Like, these past 8 months have been amazing for Liverpool overall, with Arne Slot doing amazing with the players like Salah and all the other players in Liverpool. Every player has delivered and over delivered, and Luis Diaz was part of that image. He has even became much more adaptable and much more dynamic under Slot, playing as a left winger, as a right winger, sometimes as a striker, which is something that we have seen in the past 7 to 8 games. Whatever Eric Garcia has been for us, right, from going to the CDM position to the right back position, it is the same thing with Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz went from the left wing position to the striker position and played amazing. Right, he adapted very well, just like Eric Garcia, and that's why Liverpool do see Luis Diaz in high regards, and the same thing with FC Barcelona. So nothing more from there, right? As of now, the main priority is to sign Luis Diaz as our main left winger. And if it does not work out, we'll see what happens with Nico Williams later down the road. So going back to this match between Barcelona and Athletic Club, I think that overall Barcelona did lose their intensity. I think that ever since we won the league title, these last 3 to 4 matches, it just has not been the best. And to be honest, I don't care. I mean, like, in some capacity I should care, and yes, for these players in some capacity they should also care, but like, if we already won the league, then whatever, bro. We were just on cruise drive, and you can just tell like that these players were already on party mode. I mean, like, they were on roller coasters like 3 days ago. I just think that they were not 100% there, and that's fine. Like, I'm not out here trying to say that they should be 110, give 110% on this match against Athletic Club. I have some sort of I have empathy for the players. I know that they're tired. I know that they want to rest, and maybe a part of their brains is thinking about the match between Spain and France, right? So they want to be available, like Gavi, Alejandro Balde, Pedri, and all these other players. They want to be available. They want to be there. Yamal, they want to take down France in the Nations League semifinal match. It's going to be huge, right? It's going to be Yamal versus Dembele, Koundé versus, I don't know, Koundé versus, who's on the left of Spain? Nico Williams. Nico Williams versus Koundé, Alejandro Balde versus Koundé. It gets pretty good. So I understand why these players may not 110% be there. But all in all, they still had a very dominant performance, because they scored 3 goals against Athletic Club cannot be underestimated. Athletic Club is a team that I believe is starting to become dirty, a team that likes to cheat, a team that likes to complain too much, and I don't know why. One of the center backs of Athletic Club, or one of the defenders, was trying to one up Lamine Yamal very early in the game, like get in his face. And I'm like, bro, like, you guys already got what you guys wanted. You guys have already solidified a spot wherever you guys want to play at in the league, and there's nothing else to play for. We're champions. Like, why are you getting angry? Like this team, I don't know, like Athletic Club 3 years ago played amazing football. I respected them, but they're starting to become like Espanyol, like a dirty team, a team that I don't respect in my opinion. Like, why play so dirty? Why try to cheat your way through certain wins or certain situations? And so, all in all, like I've said, Barcelona were dominant. Gavi, I think he played amazing in the CDM position. I don't know why, bro. Like, Pedri, to me, Pedri has reached such a high level that no matter who you put next to him, they just get better. If Casado plays next to Pedri, Casado plays better. If Frankie plays next to Pedri, Frankie gets better. If Eric Garcia plays next to Pedri, Eric Garcia just plays better. For Gavi, he played way better than he usually does, because he was next to Pedri tonight against Athletic Club. Phenomenal as a CDM. I think that there's a lot of swag. I don't know if you guys still use that word, but there's a lot of swag that goes on between Gavi and Pedri. It's just that there's a lot of elegance between the two players in the CDM role, and I want to see more of that, and hopefully next season, right? Gavi had 119 touches, very much involved in this game. 95 out of 98 passes were completed. That is 97% of the passes being completed. 2 out of 2 dribbles were won. 3 out of 8 tackles were won. 16 out of 18 ground duels were won. 6 fouls were won, which was the most. 4 recoveries, and he was not dispossessed at all. Like, every time he received the ball, he never lost it. That's dominant, because you combine that with a player like Pedri, who also never loses the ball. It's insane. So Gavi, to me, was like a 9 out of 10 in terms of performances. I also want to shout out another player, which is Alejandro Balde. Alejandro Balde, 81 minutes played, 75 touches, 60 out of 64 passes were completed. That is 94% of the passes being completed. 3 out of 4 dribbles were won, 8 ball recoveries, 5 out of 8 ground duels were won, that is 62%. 2 fouls were won, and he was dispossessed 0 times. Amazing. I don't know, bro. Like, what left back is going to be able to come over here, coming from the market, and improve on top of Alejandro Balde? There's no way. Martin, Hofre, bro, you guys have a lot of work to do. Alejandro Balde is a monster. There's nobody in Atletico Madrid nor Real Madrid that can defeat Alejandro Balde right now. You bring any winger, Alejandro Balde will tap you. he would tap that ass easy. Another player that I want to talk about is Eric Garcia, bro. Like, I've talked about it before. Eric Garcia, to me, is going to be the reason why Barcelona will be saving a lot of money going into this summer transfer window. We were planning on trying to get a new right back and maybe spend 35 to 40 million euros, but that is no longer going to be the case. Eric Garcia is going to be the direct competitor to Jules Koundé and nothing more. Another masterclass performance from Eric Garcia. In the past 5 games, I posted it on X, and there's like a screenshot. I think it was like in the past 5 games where on average 7.5 score, right? Performance score 7.5, and he had 2 goals and 1 assist in the past 5 matches. Really good. One of his best performances was actually against Inter Milan, where I believe he scored a goal. So Eric Garcia is that man. He's here to stay, and to stay here for a very long time if he continues at this top level. So props to him, right? It almost did seem like Eric Garcia was going to leave us after having that loan spell with Girona. He was also going to leave earlier in January and go to Girona or Como, but that's no longer going to be it. Hansi Flick has a plan. And so in this match against Athletic Club, 99 touches, 71 out of 79 passes were completed. That's 89%. 8 final third passes, okay? And we're talking about Eric Garcia here, bro. 8 final third passes, 3 out of 7 long balls, 2 ball recoveries, 5 out of 7 ground duels were won, which is 71%, and he was dispossessed 0 times. He is slowly becoming one of the best, I would just say, partners next to Lamine Yamal. So congratulations to Eric Garcia. I'm proud of you, bro, and I hope that you stay here going past this summer. Hopefully we don't get no surprises and they sell Eric Garcia for like 50 million euros, bro. I'll be pissed. And the last one that I want to talk about is going to be Lewandowski, a player that everybody says he's finished, he's too old, we have to prepare for next season, and we have to get Jokeres. And like, okay, look, bro, I would be happy if we sign Jokeres, but if we don't, and we don't find a backup to Lewandowski, I'm fine, because Lewandowski does not look like he's slowing down. It is what it is, dude. Like, he's 37. Well, he will be 37 next season, and he has been 36 all season. And this dude athletically is not slowing down, and age does not matter. If you don't tell me the age, and I just looked at Lewandowski over the past 8 months, I will tell you, oh, this guy has to be like 27, 28 years old, right? He has not slowed down, and that's it. Like, if he's not slowing down, then just continue with us. You're scoring goals. This guy over here is like, bro, I don't know what to tell you. This guy was competing next to Kylian Mbappe, somebody who is at the prime of his career. He's turning 27 soon. Lewandowski is 37 at this point. I know he's 36, but at this point he's 37, and he's up there competing with Kylian Mbappe. Why would you want to let him go? Why would you want to diminish his minutes? I think that you just have to have better man management with Lewandowski and make sure that he does not play every game, and have him be effective when he makes those appearances in the matches, and you'll be okay. It's fine. Like, for example, let's say there is a scenario next season where we have to face Leganés, but we know that we have to face Real Madrid in the next game and Bayern Munich in the next game. Let's rest Lewandowski. He does not need to play against Leganés. It's fine. Let him rest. Not have him play in the match against Real Madrid. Maybe have him play 65 minutes. The first 65 minutes against Real Madrid, and then in the match against Bayern, have him play a full 90-minute match. It's just all man management, and have him be effective. And in those effective minutes, he scores goals and he gets what he wants. That is it. Everybody's happy. So with this one right here against Athletic Club, 2 goals. Amazing 2 goals. Fast. That cross that was made by Rafinha, where he headed the ball, that requires fast instincts, because you, like, bro, like, really think about this. The speed of the ball that Rafinha put in, right? The amount of speed that it was going to the box, and the amount of players that were trying to get it. Any other striker would have been like, oh, I thought the center back was going to get it. That is why I didn't really try to reach for the ball, try to header the ball. But Lewandowski has fast instincts, right? He's very reactionary, and so I don't see him slowing down. And, you know, once again, 2 goals, 19 touches, 7 out of 8 passes were completed, 6 touches in the opposition box, 3 out of 4 ground duels were won, 3 fouls won, 1 out of 1 aerial duels won, which is 100%. And in total, I just have to clap it up for Lewandowski, because it is 101 goals that he has scored for Barcelona in his career in 147 games. It could have been more, because unfortunately in that last season under Xavi Hernandez, he under-delivered like all players. I think that he could have had more. I think that we could have said 121 goals today in 147 games for FC Barcelona, but it's 101 goals, and that's really good. It's amazing. It's like, bro, like it's an all-time record. This is a striker that has scored 100 plus goals for Dortmund, 100 plus goals for Bayern Munich, 100 plus goals for FC Barcelona, and has scored 100 plus goals in the Champions League tournaments in his career. And he has scored 42 goals in total for FC Barcelona in this season, 27 in La Liga. And keep in mind, bro, if you take away Kylian Mbappe's penalties, Lewandowski would have the award today. He would. And if you look at how Mbappe got those penalties, you would say, oh yeah, it's cheating. It's stupid. You take away the penalties of Mbappe, Lewandowski would be winning today. He would be the top scorer for La Liga. But unfortunately, they gave Mbappe all the penalties in the world. Any small touches to any of the players of Real Madrid, they're like, penalty. Mbappe, take it, please. Score more goals. We don't need Lewandowski to get all this fame and stuff like that. We need Mbappe to win the top goal scorer for La Liga. But it is what it is, bro. We won La Liga. We are the real champions and nothing more. Congratulations to FC Barcelona and this phenomenal season. I'm really gonna miss this season because who knows how it's gonna be like next season. Who knows? I really am going to miss this because I don't even think that, like, bro, the amount of times we came back in the past 8 months, like against Benfica, against Real Madrid, against Atletico Madrid, I do not even know if we're going to be repeating the exact same thing next season. I don't know. Who knows? We might get worse, and I hope to God that does not happen. But I really am going to miss this season. There was a lot of great memories, but I hope everything goes well for us for the summer. We just improve from here, and we get better defensively, offensively, in terms of control. Let's do it, man. I hope that we have a really good transfer window, and whatever does happen in terms of transfer operations, whether it's exits or arrivals, we will be talking about it here in this YouTube channel. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.